right, so I'm doing one of my first live streams. I don't know how many of you guys are going to be watching this live, but I did get a question about how do I calibrate the parallel guides from TSO, because they have been a little bit of a pain in the butt. Maybe it's just me and information I got, but I did find a way or two that I thought was really helpful in getting these dialed in. So you're going to need a couple tools. Obviously you need the parallel guides, but I would not necessarily use a tape measure because, as you know, over time these can change a bit, and so they can get a little inaccurate. I like to use something like this, like a T-square, because it won't change over time. It shouldn't. So I know that the measurements I'm getting will be accurate no matter what, and then I can check everything. And actually, let me show you guys how I use this tool specifically. Again, you don't have to use that. You can use a square. You just want to make sure that you have a tool that is consistent. So let me put this to the side. Let's see here. Ready. And I'm getting my shop cleaned up. It's been a lot moving into a new house. So the first thing you're going to want to do is start off with a piece of plywood, or it could be any, I mean, maybe it could be hardwood, but I would use plywood. And the first thing you want to do is to get a nice clean edge, because if there's undulations or it's not straight, then your calibration won't work. So I should just cut this edge right here. So next what we're going to do is we're going to want to draw some lines on here. Now, what should the marks be at? So I know that the parallel guides start at about 7.5 inches, which is, let's see here, metric, starts around 200. So we can do 200 here, or we can do 250, whatever we want. Obviously, I don't want to use up more material than I need to. So in this case right here, I'm going to just do, let's see here, say about 340. And so we're going to go all the way to one end right here. And just, again, be consistent in how you mark. So we're going to say, okay, 340. Now this has little holes in it where I put the pencil, so I can just do that. Just kind of go this way. And then you're going to want to go to the other end, this right here. It's a little awkward setting up from camera, but just so you guys can see a better view. And again, it doesn't matter how you mark as long as you're consistent. And we're going to, again, go 340 right here. So now we have two marks to work with that are the same. 240 from here, and then 240 from here. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our parallel guides on the track, and I want to explain what's on mine. If you're familiar at all with TSO products, then this rail square look a bit familiar, except it has green and silver. It's still a TSO square, but it's the Festool branded version. I just got it a little bit cheaper, so hey. Now, what we're going to do is, we're not trying to calibrate anything quite yet, so we don't want the flip stops down. So take that back. We are trying to calibrate, but we're not doing anything with flip stops yet. So let's see here. I got to get this off my board because I don't want the rail square actually touching the board. Because first of all, I don't even know if this is square, these two faces over here. Let me show you. So we're going to want to bring the splinter guard right up to the line. All right, there we go. And there we go. Right up against the line. Press it down so I can make sure. Now, at this point, I would recommend using clamps. So let me grab a clamp real quick. So depending on how you want to clamp it, I mean, I would take one of these and clamp it underneath, but it doesn't matter quite for the moment. Actually, you know what? I would recommend doing this because you're gonna have to probably make a cut here soon. You don't have to, but I'd recommend it. So we're just gonna go over here and let's see here. Alrighty. Make sure I got this. And again, make sure that we are lined up perfectly. It doesn't matter right now, but when you do this, make sure that everything is lined up, nothing shifts. So just double check everything. And then once you have clamped it and the splinter guard is up against the edge, then what we can do is we can say, okay, we have 340, so we're gonna want to, on our, I'm just gonna show you guys a better view. On our parallel guides, in fact, let me see if I can turn this a little bit for you guys. One sec. Oops, wrong way. Okay. So I have the flip stop right here. Now it's not touching the wood. This part right here, it's a little small part, it's not touching the wood. Actually, you know, I want to bring the camera a bit closer, so I think that'll be more helpful to you guys. So hold on here. It's gonna get a little crazy for a moment. Alrighty. There. Now I think you can see a lot better here. We don't want this touching the edge yet. What we want to do is go to 340. Put it right over, the cursor needs to be right over it. And then when I adjust it, I'm going to hold this down. I'm going to hold the actual cursor down. I don't want it to move. I'm going to go over to the other one, do the same thing. 340. Let's see here. And I'm going to hold the cursor down and then tighten. I do that with the cursor because sometimes it can shift. So at this point, this set screw should be loose. That way this can go back and forth. Now, I don't want to readjust mine right now, but just go along simulation. So at this point, we're going to take this, and there's a little, we're going to take the back of this, just push it up against here, right? So it'll be nice and snug. And here's a key part. You want to keep this pressed, so you're pressing the pin up against there while you are tightening it. If you do not do that, it can become a little bit loose and introduce some error. I don't think you can get these 100% dialed in by thinking it close to like 98, 99%, which is great. So while holding it, again, you don't need going crazy on it. You just want a nice firm pressure, then you can tighten in place. And then, let me see here. Actually, I gotta loosen this up. So you're not going to want to loosen it quite yet, or rather, tighten it quite yet. But so now, it's tight. And then I'm going to take, let's see if I can show you guys again a little different view of this. So hold on. So there's two ways that we can confirm that this has worked out. Somewhere here I had my pencil and it's gone lost. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Underneath the track. So what we're going to do here, I'll make a mark right here. And I'm going to go to the other side as well. And so before I cut anything, I just want to make sure that these even line up. So let's take the rail off for a moment. Alrighty. Again, I want to make sure you guys can see this pretty well. So let's get in really close here. So where's the mark that we made? Okay, this is the mark right there. Let's bring our rule right up against it, see where we're at. How are we doing? Okay, so let me get that back in view. Oops, let's see here. Okay. And that mark is right spot on at 340. So I'm gonna bring this back out. The future would be great to have multiple cameras, but sorry if you guys get a little bit of whiplash from that. Do apologize. So that's how we do it. Again, we first rip this right here, so a nice clean edge that we know is straight. Then we make a mark on each end. We bring our splinter guards up to that, and then we can set the flip stops. Once we set the flip stops, then we're going to want to check to make sure, you know, again with the square, that is where it should be. And then at that point, we can actually make our cut. And as long as after the cut they line up, then we know that our parallel guys are set up. So that's it in a nutshell. Hopefully you guys have a couple tips. Got a couple tips along the way, and this was helpful. So leave me a comment below if you found this helpful, and if not, then let me know too. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer. See you guys in the next one.